Checking in from Sweden. Hey. I was trying to think of something Swedish to say, but I don't know anything Swedish, apparently. Yeah, go Tigers. Hey, Droid, do you think maybe me and you should go play offensive line for Clemson? Because they don't have any offensive linemen left. They're all hurt. Oh. Hell, I've lived in Summerville for 44 years. I didn't even know there was a rock quarry. I don't even know where that's at. Right now it is 7 o'clock. We got the college football playoff ranking show coming on here. So we'll start off the show with the updated rankings. Let's look at what they were last week. Let's see how many of these teams will move. Well, Oregon won. Well, let's just talk about who lost, right? And BYU lost, so they'll drop. We'll see how far they drop. Tennessee lost. They'll drop a little bit because they lost to Georgia. You gotta keep going way down here. Louisville lost. We'll talk about that. They might drop out of the top 25. As a matter of fact, I think they will. Of course, LSU lost to Florida. Missouri lost to South Carolina. And that's it. So there's only 5 or so teams that lost that's in the top 25 here. Is anybody expecting any shakeup at all in the top 4? I'm going to say no on that. So there won't be a whole, with only a few teams losing this week in the top 25, there won't be a ton of movement, but there'll be a little bit. How high will Georgia jump up after their big win over Tennessee? Will Notre Dame find their way in the top 5? I'm predicting Notre Dame moves up to 5 or 6. I don't know if they'll keep Indiana ahead of Notre Dame or not, but both the teams in front of Notre Dame lost, BYU and Tennessee, so they'll move up to probably either 6 or 5. Committee loves weak schedules, yeah. And I just realized I didn't have that on the screen for you guys to see. I'm sorry. Anyway, you get the deal. So last week was Oregon 1, Ohio State 2, Texas 3, Penn State 4, Indiana 5, BYU 6, Tennessee 7, Notre Dame 8, Miami 9, and they were on a bye week. So I think they won last week since they didn't play. Alabama 10, Ole Miss 11, Georgia 12, Boise State 13, SMU 14, Texas A&M 15, Kansas State 16, Colorado 17. Another blowout win for Colorado. Colorado's most likely making the if Colorado wins this week against Kansas on the road, they are making the they're in the Big 12 championship game. So they're one game away. If they win this weekend, they're one win away from the playoff, a guaranteed playoff spot, which is shocking. Washington State 18, Louisville 19, 20 Clemson in their struggle win against Pitt, 21 South Carolina, 22 LSU, 23 Missouri, 24 Army, who remains undefeated at 10-0, and 25 Tulane. Don't look now, but Tulane's playing good football. There you go. So we'll see. Yeah, whenever someone says don't look now, I always look. Yeah. I mean, that's a human trait. Someone tells you not to do something, you're going to probably do it. You know, if you tell your kids don't do this or don't do that, you just raise the chances of them actually doing it. Oh. I learned that a long time ago. All right, let me turn this music off here. The Ranky Show is about to start. We got some guys coming on. We got our buddy Rec Talk here. Rec Talk, what's up, buddy? Well, we'll see when he comes on here. Let me see.
Sorry.
Yeah,
what's going on?
You're good. Let me do a quick roll call real quick. There's some things I want to ask you, Rec Talk, before we get started here. Or not, maybe not ask you, but tell you. Matt Dummett is here. Stingray, Kevron Harris, KS Droid, CJ committed, says Tennessee is down bad. Yeah, they're not down that bad. They still have a chance to make the playoffs. But you know who they're fans of this week? They're big Ohio State fans. They want Indiana to lose because I think if it comes down to a 12th spot or 11th spot or whatever, the committee might take a 2-loss Tennessee team over a 1-loss Indiana team just based on schedule. Ultra Maga Dog is here. Bow hunting. Somebody in here called Nightbot that's promoting PigskinPeete. Thank you for that. Zona Tucson 93. Wahoo Brad. Hey, Brad. Big game this weekend, buddy. I'm a Cavalier this week. Big game this week against SMU. I'm pulling for the Who's on that one. Let's hand SMU an ACC loss, please. Thank you. Harry Legg is here. Win Model 88. Guns and Outdoors. Sid Irish. Jay Shipes. Thank you. All right, so they're doing what they do on the playoff show here and filibustering and whatnot. So Rec Talk, I saw your video.
Oh boy,
I saw your video, and I saw. I'm gonna play it at the end of the show here. Oh, I'm not gonna play the whole video. I'm gonna play the part that you know what part I'm talking about.
Yeah. Some dirt got thrown, I think.
Some dirt got thrown, and I hear that there will be a response to the dirt being thrown.
Yep.
We were going to premiere the response to the dirt being thrown at the end of the show today, but it doesn't look like it's going to be ready.
Yeah, that's my fault.
Yeah.
So after this Rec Talk video freaking dropped, the buzzsaw came over to my house and he came in with a fury, and he came down and recorded some bars that blew my freaking doors off. And it's my fault. I couldn't get the video format right, and so I'm not. The buzzsaw did his part, but unfortunately,
that's an early victory for Rec and Macho Rec. It sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it'll be the only victory that you get because this is going to be rough for Macho Rec once this video comes out.
All right, let's watch these rankings real quick, and we'll start talking about that again because I have a question for Rec Talk about his video too. But they're coming up now. So 25. There's a big shakeup in the top from 20 to 25 already. 25 Illinois, 24 UNLV makes their way in the top 25. Missouri drops to 23. Iowa State, 22. Arizona State had a big win, 21. They've got a big game this week, too. They're still in the hunt for the Big 12 as well. Believe it or not, they're 8-2. How come nobody's been talking about Arizona State all year? At all?
Not at all. I didn't realize they were in the run.
Yeah, I mean, because nobody talks about them. But there's going to be some chaos in the Big 12 here. We got Colorado still in it, BYU still in it, Arizona State still in it, and I think that's it. 20 Tulane. They move up 5 spots from last week. 9-2. Even if they win out, they won't be the highest ranked conference champion in the group of 5, so they're probably not going to make the playoffs, but still having a great year. Army 19. Boy, they just Army just keeps winning and just doesn't move. South Carolina 18. So Clemson is still ranked ahead of South Carolina. I thought they were going to jump Clemson this week. They were 1 behind Clemson last week. There we go. Clemson remains 1 spot ahead of South Carolina at 17.
How about his jackpot?
I thought for sure they would jump Clemson. They had a ranked win this past week.
They should.
Okay, speaking of South Carolina, did anybody see the jackpot stream this past weekend? It was one of the funniest things.
Yes, I did.
Oh my God. I was crying laughing. I was watching it live.
Jackpot is still on the hunt for that motherfucker that called him.
I called him. He said, "Why did you do that, you pineapple head dipshit?"
He said he was going to smash him over the head with a Dr. Pepper can.
Yeah, Dr. Pepper Zero.
Yeah.
No sugar.
So Colorado's at 16. A&M is at 15. Boy, A&M at 15. How is BYU ahead of A&M? I mean, I know they got.
Doesn't A&M have 3 losses?
No,
or is it just 2?
It's just 2.
Okay.
But yeah, I still thought, you know how it goes with the SEC. I thought they would have put them ahead of BYU with 1 loss.
Well, they have to keep up at least the illusion of some impartiality.
Yeah, right. They're going to stop there. Yeah, so Clemson did Clemson move up from last week? What am I looking at here? How is that possible? I think they did.
Yeah, especially after that struggle bus win.
Yeah, Clemson moved up 2 spots after a struggle win against Pitt.
Hey, this week winning actually matters, but it may not matter next week, so be prepared.
There we go. SMU 13. Boy, come on, Virginia. We need you to beat these fucking horses, Mustangs.
Who was at 14? You skipped it.
BYU.
Oh, okay. I thought you said 15 for BYU. Excuse me.
No, A&M's 15, BYU 14, SMU 13. Boise State 12. That's interesting because BYU, SMU, and Boise State all have the same record. I wonder why Boise State's ahead of those two. I wonder what the reasoning behind that was.
Group of 5.
Well,
they're in the top 12.
Yeah. Well, they weren't last week. They moved up 1 spot. They were 13 last week. By the way, none of that matters. Whether you're 12, 13, or 14, all these teams control their own destiny at the end of the day. 11 is Tennessee. So Tennessee fell. What were they last week? 8? Let's see here.
They were 7, I think.
7, yeah.
I think they were 7. Yeah, so they should have fallen farther than that.
Wow, I thought Georgia was going to jump up way higher than that. Georgia at 10. So Georgia, they moved up 2 spots. Ole Miss 9, makes sense. They beat Georgia, and they got the same record. So that makes sense. I don't really think it's going to be a change in the top 5 or 4, but. Miami at 8. So Miami moves up 1 spot on a bye week.
Yeah, we beat the shit out of bye.
Yeah, you had 2 teams in front of you lost. That's why. BYU and Tennessee both lost.
Yeah, I figured as much.
Alabama at 7. So 6 is going to be probably, well, hell, I don't know. Notre Dame.
You already said Ole Miss.
Yeah, 6, Notre Dame. So the top 5 is probably going to stay the same. It's probably going to get Indiana 5, Penn State 4, Texas 3, Ohio State 2, and Oregon 1. Because they all won last week. I don't know why they changed spots. Yeah, Indiana 5. So the top 5 is going to stay the same there, I think.
Well, I could see them shuffling it around some because, Ohio State won way better than Texas did. So maybe some flip flop in there.
If Texas loses to Texas A&M, they need to be left out.
Yeah, well, the winner of that game is guaranteed a spot in the SEC championship game, but the other one will be sitting at home.
No.
So
Yeah, well, I mean, Lane Kiffin came out and said the quiet part out loud that coaches don't care about making the SEC title game.
yeah,
I don't quite understand that though, because you get a bye.
The committee did say that. He said the risk would outweigh the reward because of possibly getting left out. But the committee did say that they wouldn't hold losing the conference championship against you.
Yeah, they're probably full of shit.
Well, they haven't in the past, so it shouldn't.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that makes it interesting. Like, so do we think that every conference champion in the Power Four anyway, like the Big Ten, the Big 12, the SEC, and the ACC, are all of those teams that play in the conference championship getting into the playoffs? Do you think?
not if you ask Twitter.
Not if you ask Twitter. Okay.
Well, between the Big and the SEC, yes, but
Yeah,
Right.
According to Twitter, Rec is absolutely right. Only one Big 12 team and one ACC team are getting in. Nobody else has a chance, even though I absolutely believe that, say, Miami, Clemson, and SMU all went out. If Clemson beats South Carolina, I think they're in.
That was the scenario I laid out last night on the Lunch Money show. I said let's paint a scenario here. Well, this is a different scenario than what you're saying. Let's say Miami loses to Syracuse. Clemson gets into the ACC championship, wins it. I mean, who gets in the ACC? Is it just Clemson?
I think the ACC is getting two. I think in that scenario, Miami is a big enough brand name that they may still get in. Yes,
Right.
because I've seen them overrank what I think Miami should have been ranked in the past in the playoff polls. So, because we all know that's a factor. Brand name is absolutely a factor.
Yeah.
I think Clemson and Miami have enough brand name that they could probably survive it. I don't know if SMU does at this point.
Yeah. They're ranked so low too, just despite just having one loss, because of their schedule's been pretty weak. SMU's has.
yeah.
Plus, that's not being held against Indiana.
Right, but they haven't lost though.
Okay, but their strength of schedule is what, 106th?
Yeah, it's pretty
I
bad.
mean, people are making the argument that a one-loss Indiana shouldn't be in, and I think a one-loss team from any power conference is absolutely in.
It is interesting and funny at the same time that, the Big Ten and the SEC fans are always going back and forth about we're the best conference. We're the best conference. Well, Indiana's in the Big Ten. They're undefeated, and they still have a shitty schedule. How's that possible? I mean, I think they avoided playing like the top 8 teams in the Big Ten somehow.
Yeah, somehow or another.
I mean, that's just luck of the draw, I guess, but.
Well, I mean, that's kind of like SMU and the ACC. They dodge most of the.
Yeah.
Well, and then they say the middle of the road teams in the SEC would be vying for conference championships, but Arkansas lost to Oklahoma State, who hasn't won a game in the Big 12.
Tide Pride 75 says, "Where's Clemson? Oh, that's right, they suck. They're at 18. Are you not watching or listening? I just told you where they were."
He got you good. Got your ass, dude.
You tried and you failed miserably.
Congratulations.
Rubber glue.
Somebody never stopped eating the Play-Doh, apparently.
Congratulations. You tried and you failed miserably.
So Rec Talk, I saw your video and your challenge to. Can I say it? You challenged Buzzsaw.
And I didn't challenge him, dude. This is an easy mistake. I'm not Macho Rec.
Right, Macho Rec. Okay, I'll take that back. Macho Rec challenged Buzzsaw. But that's not what I want to talk about. So keep an eye out for on Sea Dog's channel. Buzzsaw will be doing a rebuttal to the challenge there. Can't wait to see that. But the song that was playing in the back, or in the intro and the outro, where'd that come from?
I didn't want to say this on this venue, but I will. Like, I've been working with all the best names in rap, like Diddy. I worked with T.I. I worked with Kanye. Obviously, I had to end that relationship. You know, he kind of went off the deep end. But
Wait a minute, you were working with Diddy, and Kanye was the relationship you had to separate.
yeah, dude, I don't make the rules. You know.
Well, I do have a bit of good news as far as Macho Rec goes, because right now, I mean, we can't guarantee that Buzzsaw will actually show up. I mean, the last person he called out, Buzzsaw forfeited, took a big old fat L by not even showing up.
Damn.
Yeah, but
forfeited or postponed. Also, was there ever even a formal calling out?
After how many years can we call it a forfeit?
Do you have any receipt? Do you have any receipts of this?
No, he has a lack of receipt of Buzz's ass not showing up.
I do.
I don't know, man. Listen, I think you guys might want to see the Buzzsaw's response before you.
Yeah, I have it on good authority that Buzzsaw is not going to be a no-show this time.
Yeah, this is.
He's got ours.
I'm just saying he has a history of making challenges and then not backing them up.
Well, I mean, careful what you.
Unfortunately, that's what you get, because I do have it on good authority that the Buzzsaw is a relation, is the next of kin, if you will, to the ACC show's graphics guy. So apparently disappointment runs in that family.
Oh, no.
But Rec Talk, that song that on the Macho Rec video was well done, and also it's very up to date. There were some Mike Tyson ass references in the song.
Yeah.
And that just happened on Friday. So
yeah, you know, I wrote that for Macho Rec, and you know, I'm an Atlanta guy. You know, it runs in my blood to spit the fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually did tweet at Netflix about that. Like, how is Mike Tyson's ass the only part of that broadcast that was above 320p?
It was high definition. You saw the curves.
Yeah, that was disturbing. I saw that live. I said, I can't believe they just aired that.
Yeah, 60-year-old man ass. Congratulations.
His son was interviewing him, and then he just turns around with his bare ass cheeks. It's like, why? Like, how low is this man gotten?
Yeah, was that his son?
I think it proves Mike Tyson gives no fucks.
So that was his. Who is the guy that he hugged and kissed and told him he loved him right before he turned around and showed his ass?
That was his son.
Oh, it was?
That was
okay.
his son. Yeah.
All right.
Like, can you imagine Pete in the future? And you're down so bad, you're doing stuff with Macho Rec and Buzzsaw, and you just show your bare ass on YouTube.
I also like the fact that there was like 30 people in that room, and he's just walking around naked, basically.
Well, listen, Pete has shot a YouTube video in his shower, so I don't think he's above showing his bare ass on the internet.
Yeah, I'm not above anything.
Dang, I didn't know that. Well.
Yeah, there's a video of me showering. Yeah, it's one of the Slob Olympics training videos, actually.
Sea-Dog, during when we were streaming the game, gave a halftime report from the shitter.
Yeah,
he did. He did, as a matter of fact. I was present for that and can confirm.
We're all in the right place, is what I'm saying.
All right, let's dig into some of these games here. At the end of the, we get done talking about last week's games and this week's games and football talk. We'll, I've already got the Macho Rec. I was about to say Rec Talk. The Macho Rec video pulled up so we can all watch that on the way out. All right, Virginia at Notre Dame. Now this game wasn't close, but Virginia did pull a backdoor cover with like 10 seconds left to go in the game.
They did.
Boy, that hurts, because a lot of people take parlay money line favorites. I bet that was one of them that busted your card. Yeah,
speaking of, this is a side note here. Speaking of old jackpot, on his stream, when he was streaming the South Carolina game, somebody in the chat was talking about, Notre Dame's blowing out Virginia, and he goes, "Oh yeah," he said, "Old damn Hufferbilly Paws dumbass said that Virginia was going to cover. He didn't know what the fuck he's talking about, blah blah blah," and then they covered.
Dang, man, jackpot had a roller coaster of emotion that Saturday.
That was
dude. That man can't win for losing. I swear.
That was the funniest. That was the funniest thing ever, dude. Him freaking losing it on that guy that he called. And he's upset, and he's upset they won, and he's still furious.
He's like, I don't know what even happened.
It was incredible.
Listen, I still think him passing out drunk and then waking up and ordering a pizza and then literally eating that entire pizza and passing back out again on stream, that's still top of the heap jackpot for me.
Yeah, he was seriously. But that wasn't a joke. He was seriously pissed off.
Yeah.
That's when he's at his funniest, and that's my favorite thing that he says. Like if their quarterback throws a pick, why did you do that?
Yeah.
Why did you do that?
Well, anyway, congratulations to South Carolina on their big win. Missouri's that team that they give them hell every time they play, for some reason. It's kind of like Clemson with Pittsburgh, and Georgia Tech with Miami.
And North Carolina.
North Carolina, really.
Yeah, we beat them 4 in a row now.
Yeah, we're 4 in a row on those clowns.
Well, listen, beating up on we need to put this up in a poll. Who's more of a animated corpse, Joe Biden or shit stain on the sideline over there in North Carolina?
Here's the thing, though. Like, we were beating them when we were going 3-9 with Jeff.
And they were ranked.
And they were ranked, 13th in the country. We were beating them then.
I'm going to say Joe Biden is more of a walking vegetable because at least Mac Brown knows where he's at. He knows what day it is.
Well,
yeah,
he's not going to be there for long. He's not going to.
No, I think this is Mac Brown's swan song, and like most people in football, you don't go out in a blaze of glory.
That'll most likely be the only coaching change that happens in the ACC this year. Because I guess it's possible that Florida State. I don't think Florida State's going to fire Mike Norvell though.
I think Tony Elliott saved his job.
It depends on what jobs become open, because me and Rec were actually discussing this yesterday, and he doesn't agree with me. But
which is
I think it is. But if somebody's willing to double Brent Key's pay, Georgia Tech will not match it. I don't believe.
That would be like $6 million, though.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is kind of the going rate.
Right.
Is Florida going to do that, though? Florida's not firing Billy Napier. I forgot.
Well, they said they're not, but you know how that goes.
Yeah. Well, that's also not the only job that's going to become open, too.
Well, it's not going to become open because they're keeping them, and also Sunbelt Billy is going to make a bowl this year for the first time. I don't know if anybody knows that.
If they upset Ole Miss this week, he's definitely not getting fired.
They don't even need to. You know who they play after Ole Miss? Goddamn Florida State.
Yeah.
But see, here's the thing, though. Okay, you go 6-6, you make a bowl game and lose it, you still end up with a losing record.
That's true.
Here's a couple good comments in the comments. Momo, who's a Florida State fan, says if Florida State beats Florida, he's definitely getting fired. That's probably true. Wahoo Brad. I'm glad you said this, Brad. I was about to say this. Wilcox at Cal. Now, I don't know much about the situation there, about the fan base, if they want him to move on from him. He might get fired. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know.
I'd be willing to bet 3/4 of the fan base doesn't even know about Cal football.
Yeah. Well, that's a good point, too.
I didn't even consider them when thinking about ACC teams still.
Well, like I said, we're going to see it. We all know it. At the end of the year, there's going to be a bunch of coaching vacancies. And it would not surprise me if somebody throws $5-6 million, if not more, at Brent Key.
It'll take more than that to move him, though.
Yeah, well.
Yeah,
you'd have to give him a max contract, and who's going to want to give Brent Key a max contract to like 8 years of $10 million a year? So like an 80 or 70.
I don't think it'll take a max contract. I don't.
I really don't think.
Like I get your perspective. You think he's a Georgia Tech guy through and through. Nick Saban don't give a fuck about West Virginia either because Alabama paid him more.
That's apples and oranges.
But let me ask you this, and I think even the Georgia Tech fans will agree with me on this. What is Brent? I'm not saying Brent Key's not a good coach, but what has he done this season to warrant a big job offer somewhere else?
He beat a top 5 team, and he's recruited. He's starting to recruit well at Tech, but
yeah, we have a top 25 class lined up.
That doesn't warrant throwing a bunch of money at him.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Now, if he
Billy
goes,
Napier got a bunch of money thrown at him for doing less at Louisiana.
Well, you got to look at the overall picture too, because we were in a horrible state when he took over.
They were.
And he turned it around
That's why
fast.
I said that, and that's why I think it could happen.
I doubt right now. If he goes on, let's say the next season or two, and wins 8, 9, 10 games or something, then yeah, there'll be people knocking on his door to come there. But I don't think right now they will.
Look, there's people that'll be hired, but our AD, Jay Batt would be one. Buster Faulkner, ROC, even Santucci. I mean, Santucci took
Chris
the 129th ranked rush defense, and now they're like top 25. They're 16th nationally rush defense.
Yeah. Our quarterbacks coach, Chris Winkie. If Penn State knew what they were doing, they would hire him.
Chris Winkie is your quarterbacks coach?
Yeah.
How did I not know that?
For like,
how did you not know? I knew that.
Years.
I did not know that.
He was under he was a Collins hire.
Yeah, Collins hired him.
Oh wow.
So, yeah.
Well,
And for $125, I'm going to get him to shout me out on Cameo. He's on there.
Collins?
No, Winky. Well, if Collins was on there, yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%.
damn. How? So Winkie is cheaper on that than the Island Boys are.
What did it cost you?
More than 125. Not a lot more, but a little bit more.
Dang, dude. We
but-
didn't do Cameo.
But they, yeah, that was at the height of their fame. Of course, now they're probably doing it for like $5 and a fucking bag of chips, But all right, moving on. So Notre Dame, they took care of Virginia. That game wasn't even close, honestly. It wasn't even as close as the score says it was.
Did y'all see what happened on the first play of that game?
I did not. What happened?
The opening kickoff. Virginia muffed it, and then Notre Dame picked it up and scored.
I did not see that.
Yeah.
As bad as you can start.
Yeah.
That's a bad start. Considering they only lost by whatever it was, 20 points, that really made a difference then.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the Notre Dame fans are also mad. I was watching another game at the time. I don't know. I didn't see the game. But there was some sort of controversial call at the end there, and they're blaming the refs for Virginia covering the spread. I don't even know what happened. Do you guys know what happened?
It sounds like some touchdown Tim stuff.
No.
Point shaving.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Come on, man.
Yeah,
There's a difference in being incompetent and just immoral.
right. All right, Boston College at SMU. Now, look, I understand SMU is in the driver's seat. They could possibly win the ACC. And, of course, all the non-ACC fans have been talking about SMU all year, but, joking about how they're going to win the ACC the first year in there. But here's the reality. SMU had to go to overtime with Nevada, should have lost to Duke on the road. And then last week, they were on the ropes. It came down to the last play, didn't it? No, not the last. They won by 10.
SMU had the ball with under 2 minutes left. They could have taken the lead. They were down by 7.
SMU was down by 3 until 8 seconds left, and they scored. SMU was up by 3, excuse me.
Okay.
And then they scored to make it a 10-point game, literally with 8 seconds left.
All right. So the game came down to the end. That's the point.
Absolutely.
Against Boston College with a backup quarterback there, Costanelos gave him the deuces and said, not only am I not playing, I'm not playing here ever again. I'm hitting the portal, which is crazy.
Yeah, you can't bench me if I quit.
Yeah, that's just, I wouldn't want that guy on my team. I don't care how good he is. I mean, he could have waited.
He seems like a good Hugh Freeze type player.
Well, you know what the rumors are is that he's being looked at by Florida State. I don't know how true that is.
Please.
But it checks all the boxes. I mean, he's definitely better than DJ.
You want to hear an even funnier one? DJ still has a year of eligibility, and apparently he's been in contact with Texas A&M.
Oh my God!
Way. Oh my God!
That's really hard to believe.
Slim, your sources are sometimes less than believable.
I think his source is Twitter.
hey, I had the greatest sources. I have the best sources ever.
My sources are the best sources in the history of sources.
Dang, dude. You need to work on that.
But my point is, is that SMU, we've seen it all year, is very beatable. It just, and hopefully it happens this week. And also, they play Virginia.
Yeah, I kind of hope so too, because if I had to pick, I would rather play Clemson, just me personally.
And why would that be?
Because number one, I think Clemson is the better team. Plus, number two, over the past 10 or so years, Clemson's really just dominated the conference. I would rather not Miami take it over because Clemson is fell. I would rather beat the man to become the man.
That's respectable. Most people would rather not play Clemson because they would be scared to lose to them.
Well, and we might lose to them, but it is what it is. You lose the game, okay, you lost the game. Dabo Swinney is arguably the best coach, maybe the second best coach in all of college football right now.
You're going to get a pushback from a lot of people on that.
Well, fuck them. Guess what? This is a free country, and they can be as wrong as they choose to.
You're being really insulting to Fran Brown right now.
Yeah, well, listen, I'll be less insulting to Fran Brown when that motherfucker goes and take a shower, okay?
Oh, man.
Oh, God. Well, he got to shower this week.
He's coming after you in his next press conference for those comments.
Well, listen, I guarantee you that motherfucker took a shower because every married man in this country knows your wife ain't letting your funky ass in bed without a shower.
She probably just sprayed him with Lysol or something.
He said he didn't go to bed. He just stayed up.
He just slept in his office that week.
Yeah, looking at film. All right, so anyway, SMU escapes against Boston College. Man, I was really hoping Boston College could pull that thing out, but they didn't. Louisville at Stanford. Louisville takes an L to the tree. That's only Stanford's second ACC win of the year, and both their wins were with walk-off field goals by 3 points. I don't really know if you guys have anything to say about that game. I don't really have anything to say other than ha, 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 you lost to the tree.
I mean, it does away with the three-way tie at the bottom of the conference. Now it's just a two-team tie.
Well, it's just funny to me because, like, I do the power rankings video and they get testy every week. They tell me that the most talented roster in the conference and all, and it's just like, okay, well, Stanford, so never mind.
That was
I mean, if you go by the talent composite, Clemson has the most talented team in the conference.
Right. The point is they're nowhere close to being the most talented team in the country.
No. I mean, by the talent composite, it's Clemson, Florida State, Miami at 1, 2, and 3.
Anyway, Louisville loses. I don't know how Clemson lost to the bird with teeth, but they did. They found a way to do it.
I think it shows that top to bottom, the ACC is better and more competitive than
they're eating themselves.
Dude, I don't know. The ending of this game was insane. Of the freaking Louisville game.
Yeah.
And they rushed the field, but there wasn't very many people there.
Yeah, there's like 5 people rushing the field.
Yeah.
That's always a good look.
Yeah.
I meant to be here last week to ask you this, but I know y'all took the goalpost. What was that, to the university president's house?
Yeah.
Sea-Dog did.
Did he not call the cops on all you folks?
He wasn't there.
Yes, you didn't see the live stream?
I didn't watch all of it. No.
You watched? Yeah.
I was afraid you were going to be in fucking jail, man.
I had to run from the cops at the end.
Yeah, Sea-Dog's a certified fugitive from the law right now.
Yeah.
Now, the president wasn't home. He said he was at his condo in downtown Atlanta or something.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I'm going to call the Atlanta PD and see if there's a reward for Sea-Dog. If it's over $50, buddy, you're fucked.
I don't. Somebody called the cops, or maybe the cops saw Sea-Dog's live stream and said, "We got to take action here. This is unacceptable. There's people jumping in the pool."
Yeah, nothing like live streaming a misdemeanor.
It was worth it.
He paid for it. He got sick.
They'll never take me alive.
Sea-Dog saw the fuzz and kicked rocks. But you never seen Sea-Dog run so fast in your life, other than the obstacle course in the Slav Olympics.
Oh, dude. I was booking it in the obstacle course for sure.
That obstacle course was tough, man. A lot of people struggled with that thing.
Oh, of course, it's a Slob Olympics. There's nothing more tough than that.
No. I mean, grade A athlete. Otherwise, don't bother.
All right, Clemson at Pitt. Boy, I almost had a heart attack watching this game here. I mean, Clemson got out to a big lead, looked like they were in control of the game. Then the second half happened. Clemson couldn't score. It was just a comedy of errors in the second half. But they found a way to win it at the end. Pittsburgh takes the lead late with 2 minutes left, a minute and 49 seconds or something like that. Clemson runs down the field. Well, more importantly, Cade Klubnik literally runs down the field with a 50-yard touchdown to seal.
They let that slow white boy outrun that whole fucking secondary.
Yeah, he's not slow.
Amazing.
He's not slow. But
listen, once again, he's not Slob Olympics material. He's slow.
Was he a 4.6 guy, 4.5 something?
the real problem was, so Clemson lost an offensive line. Clemson's already really thin at offensive line right now. Got a lot of injuries going on, and it just got worse. The first play of the game, they lost another offensive lineman. And there was 13 sacks in this game between the two teams, 8 for Clemson and 5 for Pittsburgh. And it goes from bad to worse. There's 9 offensive linemen for Clemson that aren't practicing this week because they're hurt. 9.
Damn.
Wow.
So I don't know what.
At least y'all got UTEP or whatever it is.
It's the Citadel, but
Citadel, yeah.
I don't know.
Difference.
You got to play somebody though. I don't know what they're gonna do. If they're that injured going into South Carolina might sack them 10 times. So I'm a little bit worried about that. Even Dabo Swinney, his press conference, asked the press, "Do any of you guys want to come play offensive line for us?"
Man,
That's how bad it is.
Scholarship offensive linemen do you even have?
I don't know.
15, something like that.
Something like that.
I think that's I would think most teams are sitting around more than that because you probably got somewhere around 4 deep, so you're probably somewhere around 20.
Yeah, but guys that are actually ready to play, you're probably.
Well, I mean, look at South Carolina last year. They had 13 guys go down to season-ending injuries on the offensive line.
That's where Clemson's at right now, pretty much. So.
I mean, people point to strength and conditioning, but I mean, you can only strength and condition your ACL and shit like that so much.
We also lost a couple of starters for the year. Tyler Brown, receiver, he's out for the year.
I didn't know that. That sucks.
Yeah, and we got injuries at linebacker. I mean, Clemson's in a bad way defensively and offensively with the injury bug right now. So, but you know what it is, and I'm not going to make any excuses.
Part of the game.
Part of the game. Syracuse at Cal. Now, Syracuse goes in there and wins. Is Syracuse the most unpredictable team in the ACC?
Jekyll and Hyde. Man.
Yes.
3 pick sixes in the first half against Pitt, and then come out and look good in the following week.
And Cal was favored by 10 points in this game. And this game was not close.
33. The bottom of the ACC, Stanford and Cal were on it, and fucking Syracuse literally went 1-1 between the two.
Yeah, they got beat by Stanford.
In their own house. Stanford came across the country to fucking Syracuse and blew their doors off.
I don't know what version of Syracuse that Miami's going to get next week, but you better hope it's the bad one.
Yeah, I'm about to say, if it's the bad one, we're a shoo-in to make the ACC title game.
If it's the good one, you're eliminated.
I don't know. Even if we get the good one, worst case scenario, we get the good one, it's a shootout.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
And is Syracuse going to outscore Miami? I don't think so.
Probably not.
Well, no one thought Tech was going to beat you.
No, it's an upset, most definitely.
Anyway,
I didn't think we would lose that game, but it is what it is.
Big win for the Fruit, 33-25, and that score does not reflect the actual game. Syracuse controlled the entire game. Wake Forest at North Carolina. This was the Who Gives a Shit Bowl, I guess, but for Wake Forest, this is who you play this week, Slim.
Yep.
And North Carolina gets away with a 31-24 victory. That game was one of the better games on that nobody watched. It was close.
Well, Wake got held to 3 points in the first half, and then Jeff Collins did Jeff Collins things in the second half.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I don't. I'm not a jilted ex like y'all about Jeff Collins. That defense was terrible long before he got there.
Yeah. Jeff Collins is actually the best coordinator that anyone's ever seen. You're right.
I said this before,
either, but you can't blame him for them being bad.
Well, I said this, but I'm like, I mean, you can. Okay.
Did they give up 70 to JMU?
Yeah, and apparently we've been listening to their press conferences. They have apparently a senior laden defense.
Yeah, that's why I'm calling y'all some jilted exes.
Whatever. I mean, I
love to hate. I mean, it's just what I do.
That's apparent. Like, y'all are. If it gets any worse, both of y'all are going to have some serious like stalker vibes going on.
I would love to get like a restraining order from Jeff Collins. That would make my day.
Yeah, Rec Talk does have an unhealthy obsession with Jeff Collins. I'll admit that.
I'm just totally fine. God, just leave me alone about it.
He went in on Jeff Collins harder than anybody I've ever seen in a 1 week span when they played them.
It's been a year-round thing. I mean, when I hate a motherfucker, I hate him.
I wonder if Jeff Collins knows who Rec Talk is. I bet he does.
Yeah, he blocked me on Twitter.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
What'd you say to get blocked?
I don't know, because I never said anything to him on Twitter, so it makes me think he must have seen my videos, calling him retarded and shit.
Yeah, probably.
Well, what's more impressive, Rec Talk getting blocked on Twitter by Jeff Collins, or me getting blocked on Twitter by Barack Obama?
What?
What'd you say to Barack, man?
He pointed out something stupid, and I just shone a little light on how stupid he is, and he apparently didn't like it.
Something tells me there's more to that.
Yeah. I guarantee there is.
How stupid he was. I don't know what his deal is.
Now, to be fair, Obama's.
Listen, that's a story better told for the midday show.
Fair.
Yeah, to be fair, Obama's probably got like 1 million people blocked. I mean, can you imagine?
Probably. You know what? I don't care. I still feel like I've accomplished some life goal that I didn't know I had.
You remember back whenever Trump was on Twitter and he was tweeting like 100 times a day? I mean, talk about the comments on every post that he made. I don't think he ever blocked anybody. I don't think he gave a shit. And
he replied to quite a few of them.
Yeah. Maybe he did block people. I don't know, but
he was a fiend on Twitter. He'd
be tweeting at like 3:30 in the morning. Like talking about fucking
Kofefe.
Yeah.
why is Grandpa awake on Twitter at 3:30 in the morning? Jesus Christ.
Hey, you can't sleep when you're on that much Adderall. So that's
well, don't forget the 4 fillet of fishes and 8 Diet Cokes he drinks a day.
All right.
I do respect that. Diet Coke.
I have never seen a thin person drinking Diet Coke.
All right. We got a Thursday night game this week. Moving on to week 13 here. And it features my favorite coach in the ACC versus Georgia Tech. Dave Dorn against Georgia Tech. You guys are going to take care of business for me, aren't you?
Of course we are. Right after the buzzsaw takes care of business with Macho Rec.
Yeah, there's going to be 2 victories that day: Georgia Tech and Macho Rec.
I mean, Georgia Tech should win that game, but at the same time, like NC State's kind of been Jekyll and Hyde too, because didn't they pop their head up a couple of weeks ago and dropped a 50 burger on somebody?
Yeah, on Stanford.
Yeah. I mean, look,
okay.
It would be a very Georgia Tech thing to lose this game. And it does scare me that Tech's a 9-point favorite. They don't generally handle being 2 touchdown favorites well. But I watched NC State play Duke last week, and that game started with Duke punting, NC State getting it on their own 2 with a true freshman quarterback, trying to run an RPO, taking a safety, and then fumbling on their next offensive drive. Like, They got, in fact, I think they're like 124th in turnovers. Like they're turning the ball over a lot.
Well, to be fair, Duke is not a bad football team. That's a 3-loss team, and their 3 losses. I mean, one was we talked about it to SMU. Another was to Miami, and I forget who the third one was now off the top of my head.
Tech.
Yeah, Georgia Tech.
Okay, there you go.
Yep.
Yeah, and they should have beat SMU. They got lucky.
Well, and I'm not even mad. Like I've got respect for a coach that's going to flop his dick out like that and just go for the win.
Yeah,
I like flopping dicks. That's for sure.
I don't blame him for doing that either. But
I'm not mad at the decision. I mean, it's one of those you're wearing the dunce cap if it doesn't go right, but I think it takes some balls to make that decision, and a lot of coaches won't.
now, typically, but the rule of thumb here is to always pick against the road team on a weekday or weeknight. So that's what this is. So I'm picking against NC State.
They are on a bye too.
NC State's on a bye last week, so they've got.
Wait a minute.
Well.
So it's in Atlanta, and you're the favorite?
Yes.
Oh, NC State's winning.
Shows how much you know. We're freaking undefeated at home this year.
Home favorites on the road. Yeah. Dude. I'm just saying, man.
Leave it to a Miami fan to not know the difference between on the road and home.
Yeah, figure out what the hell you're saying, and then.
What are you talking about? Home favorite on the road?
No, I didn't say home favorite.
Only
on the
Miami. You just did. Only Miami does that. We have our own stadium.
And that makes what difference in it? I think none.
Yeah, it doesn't matter where we play. Beat you anywhere.
So
you need, man, and run the clock out on this argument.
So I know Buzzsaw and Macho Rec are going to be at the game, but are Sea Dog and Rec Talk going to be at the game?
Probably not, man. I mean, I got shit to do on Thursday. Like, I got to work.
Yeah. I might have to work. I don't know yet. I definitely probably have to work Thursday, like day.
The game's not till 7:30.
Yeah, but then if I got to work Friday, I don't know.
Right.
Whatever.
All right. Well, I'm picking Georgia Tech, and that one, of course, they could be playing against the Citadel. I'd take the Citadel against NC State, so it doesn't really matter for me. But all right, Wake Forest at Miami. Miami coming off a bye week. Wake Forest coming off another loss. Wake Forest is just terrible. I mean, this game should not be close.
And we're supposedly going to have Damari Brown back for this game, which is the second best corner on the team. He's the one I've been crying about, has been on the scooter and a boot and on the sidelines for like 6 weeks.
You cover a 24-point spread.
That was my lock of the week last night. Miami minus 24.
Yes, having to stew over a loss for 2 weeks. I think so. Yeah.
I think so too. Big game from Cam Ward, probably 400 yards, 4 or 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean, he's off for a week, and all of a sudden he's fallen off the planet as far as Heisman odds. And, I mean, we all know they're paying attention to that kind of shit. So he's liable to just go nuts.
Yeah, he probably will. I don't think he's going to win the Heisman either way, but he will go to New York, though.
I don't think he will either, because unfortunately he plays for Miami, and they like screwing Miami players out of Heisman's.
Yeah, I don't think they care about that, but
okay. You've been reading Touchdown Tim articles, haven't you?
I would beg to differ. No, I listen. I've killed enough brain cells. I'm not going to read Touchdown Tim articles and add to that. You know,
he knows what he's talking about.
If you say so. That also may be the horniest man on all of Twitter.
Oh yeah, Pete. Did you see his
Tim is a menace.
Did you see his recent tweet?
Dude, that dude is replying to people on Twitter talking about I'm sitting down with my pants around my knees.
yeah, that was during the Mike Tyson fight. Whatever that girl's name, Sydney something. Not Sydney Sweeney, but one of the ring girls.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So he said
She's
about
an Alabama grad, by the way.
He said, my wife just went to bed. I'm sitting in the living room with my pants around my ankles, tugging my dick.
And meat in my hand.
Meat in my hand.
Like, listen, I've been known to say some outlandish shit to people to get a reaction. I don't know if I would do that.
I mean, you don't have the confidence he does.
I guess. Or maybe I'm just a saner human being.
I guess we can assume his wife does not have Twitter.
You've got to be a pretty horny guy to pull your pud watching a boxing match, too.
Yeah, because just before that, right, Mike texted.
Oh, don't go to.
You got to time that.
Yeah, you got to time it. Yeah, you don't want to.
Hey, over and under, this guy's got 17 OnlyFans subscriptions.
Oh, over.
Oh yeah, dude.
Way over. I mean, I'm going to like 50.
Damn, you think he's making a whole mortgage payment off of OnlyFans subscriptions? Jesus.
Yeah, he's paying all kinds of girls ways through college. Boy,
Hey,
we need to get him
He ought to
on.
run for political office. He's supporting single motherhood from coast to coast.
We got to get him on one of our shows, man.
I've tried. We've tried. We've tried so hard.
But I hadn't in a while. He actually agreed to write a dating like guide with me.
We were so sure for the longest time that he just wasn't, that he was just a troll, you know, so he was never going to come on anywhere. But he recently posted a second picture of himself, which he never has done. And it kind of makes me believe that he's
legit.
Yeah, I don't know. He might be one of these guys who, you know, part of his lure, other than he's funny, is being mysterious.
Mysterious.
Yeah.
That's definitely the case.
Right.
Well, he said he would co-author this article with me on how to tell people how to get hot chicks. So be looking out for that.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that. When's that supposed to come out?
I don't know. I got to hit him back up. On Twitter, I was like, hey, man, do you want to cure the world of incels and write this article with me on how to get laid? And he was like, absolutely, brother.
Hey, the first two readers of that article need to be Ballard and Nate.
Yeah.
Yeah, send it to them first.
All right, SMU at Virginia. This is a big game just because of the ACC hunt, right? And they got to go to.
Hate watching the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. Now, a loss does not automatically get Clemson ahead of SMU. Other things have to happen, and I forget what they are. There's like Louisville has to lose. There's like, I don't know. There's a couple other teams that have to lose, other than just SMU, in order for Clemson to jump SMU, because they'll have the same conference record. I don't know what the common opponents are. Anyway, I still want to see SMU lose. Period. So.
It seems to be the year that you know, teams' first year in their conference, they're winning it, because it looks like Texas is going to at least play in the SEC title game. Oregon's already locked up their spot in the Big Ten title game.
I think that Virginia could pull an upset here. Am I crazy for thinking that?
No, SMU looks beatable. I mean,
Yeah.
That's another reason why I honestly just don't think that Miami SMU would be that interesting of a game, because half that team is Miami rejects that couldn't hack it in Miami.
And wouldn't it be poetic if Virginia, Tony Elliott, former Clemson guy, beats SMU and gives Clemson a chance to, one step closer to the ACC championship game? That would be very poetic, in my opinion. Doing his boy Dabo Swinney a favor in Charlottesville. I don't even know. Look, I'm picking SMU to win this game, although I just hope it's close and competitive, and that Virginia has a chance to win it at the end.
Give me the Wahoos for the upset.
There we go. Now you're talking. Let's go.
I think SMU's playing with fire, and they're going to get burned just like Miami was playing with fire, and they got burned.
Yeah, they're due. You're right.
There you go. Go Who's in that.
This is a pretty much nothing burger. Well, I guess it is. UConn at Syracuse. UConn's not, I mean, they're not good, but they're not. Didn't they beat? They have a big win this year, don't they, against a Power 4 team? I think they do.
Yeah, they're not like UMass bad.
Right. And then Syracuse, obviously, so their last two games are at home. They play UConn and Syracuse, and then they host Miami. Will they be looking ahead to the Miami game? I don't know. Will Fran Brown be bathed and shaved and ready to go? I don't know that either.
You think when he wins, he gets like premier soap?
No, man. Fran Brown is a Dr. Squatch kind of guy. I can just tell.
Guess what? I have that.
What?
Damn.
This Squatch soap.
Oh, dude, that shit broke me out. I tried it. I can't use it.
My son is obsessed with it. So you know how he has a job now. So he goes online and orders stuff because he's got money now. The other day, a box comes. I open it up. 7 bars of soap that were like $8 a piece. I was like, "What the fuck?"
Now that being said, what's the over/under on Pete Jr.'s OnlyFans subscriptions?
When I first started getting money, I was spending it on the dumbest shit.
Yeah.
Oh, so Sea Dog, we had this conversation. I was like, because I love spending money on dumb shit. And he showed me the first thing he ever ordered on Amazon. What was it, Sea Dog?
It was a Guy Fieri hat. It was like a flame. It was like a flame visor, and it had like a hairpiece. It had a hairpiece that was like his frosted tips or whatever, like poking out of the top of it.
Oh my god.
And it came with like 3 changeable hair pieces to go on the top of it.
That cemented our friendship forever.
Yeah, it was a Guy Fieri freaking visor, flame visor.
Wow.
I still have it. Yeah.
I don't even know what to say about that.
I didn't waste any time.
I don't know. I mean, my first paycheck I paid bills with. My second paycheck, I walked out of the titty bar Saturday morning broke.
Oh man.
Oh yeah. No comment. No comment. I was about to say I've been there, but allegedly I've been there. Anyway, so Syracuse is going to probably beat UConn. The CW network has another gold one this week. North Carolina at Boston College.
Wow.
Tickets as low as $5. $5 tickets. A ticket is less than a Big Mac.
I don't know what they ended up being, but I know when I was looking at going to the Georgia Tech game, which thank God I didn't, they were like $30-$35.
Oh, there's a lot of nothing games here. Charleston Southern at Florida State. Now, Lou was joking with me last night on the Lunch Money Show. He's like, is there any chance that Charleston Southern could be
one win?
Yeah, they're a one-win FCS team.
The spread's 35.5.
Which, by the way, would not be the first FCS team that Mike Norvell has lost to.
Oh, you know that throughout like all of Division 1, 2, and 3, every single team in Division 1, 2, and 3 has scored like over 21 points except for FSU.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look, it's funny and everything.
Southern, like they won one game.
Yes.
They're
even Charleston. Every FCS team has scored more than 20.
Lord.
Charleston Southern's bad, though. Really bad.
Yeah, well, apparently they're not as bad as FSU because they can score 21 points.
Well, I mean, if you've seen their team, which I have, their biggest player is half the size of Florida State's smallest player. I mean,
okay, the same thing was the case when they lost to Jacksonville State.
Jacksonville State's way better than Charleston Southern.
They're also Division One.
Yeah.
Well, FCS is Division One. It's just one, but what used to be 1AA.
Are me and Sea Dog bigger than most of their players?
Yes.
Damn.
I could play defensive end for Charleston Southern.
Man.
Holy fuck.
Maybe we should make a call. Like, none of us, we all have 4 years of eligibility. We can move in.
Well,
yeah.
Listen, I'm not gonna. This shouldn't be a hot take. I'm gonna take Charleston Southern those points.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think Florida State's gonna blow them out.
You don't think if they could, they would?
I don't think they can.
I think they can and they will.
Oh my God.
They're going to take a season's frustration out on.
I mean, don't forget, Florida State did beat Cal, so
Yeah.
It's like,
that was the one nut that blind squirrel found.
I don't even know who's playing quarterback for them now.
Brock Glenn, right?
I don't know.
No,
It's a different person every week.
Something Kitty Hawk or whatever the fuck his name is.
Oh, Momo says Glenn is playing. He's a Florida State fan, so I guess he would know.
I thought he was done for the year.
I don't even think it matters, really. But give me Florida State to cover the. Would you say it was 35.5?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to bet that though. No way. Citadel at Clemson. I mentioned Clemson has basically zero offensive line. I don't know who's going to be playing on the offensive line there. I guess some of the walk-ons or something. But and the Citadel's not bad. I mean, for an FCS team, they're not terrible.
They beat Jeff Collins.
Yeah. Clemson should win that no matter what, though, I think. The question is, how long will Cade Klubnik play in that game? And Phil Maffa is, I think, only a few yards away from reaching 1,000 yards on the season. He actually surpassed the 1,000-yard mark last week and then had a run where he lost like 8 yards and fell back below 1,000 yards.
Which is surprising considering, there are games where he doesn't get 15 carries and a half.
Yeah, he last week he only ran the ball for 17 times for 17 yards. It was that was Pittsburgh's whole strategy, is to stop Maffa.
Man,
and it worked.
I think I can do the math on that. That's a yard a carry.
That's 1 yard per carry. That's right. But he's still got 1,000 yards on the season. He's still averaging over 6 yards per carry on the season. So, and he's got a bunch, 13
That's
touchdowns.
What you can get with a degree from Georgia Tech, boys and girls. You can do math like that.
You can do that.
You can do that.
I am doing that.
The Battle of the Wokes, Stanford at Cal, at 3:30 on the ACC network.
Does anyone care about that game?
I don't know if that could be considered the Battle of the Wokes. I mean, one of those universities employs Thomas Sowell, and that man is so far away from that.
Yeah, the game's in Cal. This is surprising. The ticket price as low as $130. I thought it would have been way cheaper than that. Is this a rivalry or something? It must be.
And it's a Pac-12 game. Cal's a 14.5-point favorite too, which is a little.
Yeah.
I get Stanford's bad, but Cal's offense isn't anything that special either.
Yeah, I don't know. That seems like a lot of points in this game.
I'd have to take Stanford in the 14.5 probably.
I think I would too.
Well, Stanford's probably going to have a hangover from several coronaries from them actually winning a game. So
it's still weird. I know it's been all year. We have time to get used to it. It's still weird pulling up the ACC and seeing Stanford and Cal in there to me.
It is.
I still don't even think about them whenever I'm thinking of ACC teams.
Yeah.
All Coast Conference, man. I'm telling you.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't even know who to pick in that game. I guess I'd take the points with the underdog. Other than that, I don't know. Pittsburgh at Louisville. Man, Pittsburgh on a 3-game losing streak.
Well, undefeated.
Poor talk is Pitt.
Yeah.
Where's he been? He disappeared.
Yeah, right along with his football team.
Yeah.
Mrs. Peete was in Pittsburgh last week. She was at the game.
Yeah, was that fun?
Yes, she said she had a good time.
Nice.
I mean, she pissed off a bunch of Pittsburgh fans. I know that much.
Man, what did she do?
Breaking news, water is wet.
Yeah.
She talking shit?
Of course she was. That's what she does.
She was.
Yeah. And by the way, her friend that she was there with is a West Virginia fan. You know how much they hate Pitt. So, I mean, between the two of them,
oh, yeah.
I would have hated been sitting near her if I was a Pittsburgh fan.
Between the two of them, Pete's probably lucky that he didn't get a call from the Pittsburgh Police Department about having to come pick her up.
No, instead I got a phone call at 5 o'clock in the morning from my wife. I picked it up. I was sleeping. I was like, oh shit, what's going on? 5 o'clock in the morning, my wife's calling me. And there was a man's voice on the other end.
Oh, no.
And he goes, I bought this phone for $50 from a guy on the street.
God.
And somebody's looking for it, the Find My Phone thing on the iPhone. So it was pinging. She was trying to find her phone.
That's crazy.
And when you do that, it has, put a phone number in there to contact somebody about the phone. And so she put my number in there. So he called me. This dumbass bought a phone, somebody stole her phone at the bar.
Like the same night, too. That's crazy.
Yeah. Somebody stole her phone at the bar, sold it to this idiot. And then he calls me and he's like, I was afraid I might have bought a stolen phone. I said, let me get this straight, dude. I said, you bought a fucking phone in the middle of the night from some stranger on the street and you didn't think it was stolen?
For $50.
For $50.
I figured he was gonna be like, look, man, I just want to get my $50 back. If you could Venmo me, I'll give her phone back.
Yeah, but then surprisingly enough, the guy bent over backwards to try to find her and give her the phone back.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah, so she got it back.
He had a whole story arc in that night.
Yeah, it was pretty weird. I'm not gonna lie.
We had someone steal our dog one time.
What?
And
Dude, that happened to me one time.
Yeah, and she had a collar on with our phone number and everything, and and she brought it to her friend's house for safekeeping, and her friend felt bad and called us and gave it back.
Dude, somebody broke into my house. Literally, the only thing missing was the dog, which I found weird to begin with, and then 6 months later, my sister is on the school bus and sees my dog tied up in somebody's front yard.
That's crazy.
So I go over there with police report in one hand and my shotgun in the other.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're giving me my fucking dog.
That's crazy.
Dog thieves out there. Wow.
Yeah, people will come get them out of your yard.
Well, mine doesn't. I had a pit at the time. So, and he had been fighting her.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she had all kinds.
That does happen.
Scratch marks and bite marks all over the place.
We got a friend, some friends that live right across the street from us, and they had one of those. I forget what kind of dog it was. It was one of those little yappy dogs that cost fucking $2,000 or something. Anyway, a Boston something or another.
Boston Terrier?
No, it wasn't a terrier. It was something else. But
My dog that got stolen was a Chihuahua.
But somebody, listen to this shit. Somebody stole their dog. No. They didn't steal a dog out of their yard. She took it to one of these pet daycare places that is only a mile or two from our house. Overnight boarding thing,
Yeah.
And so she's gone for the weekend. She comes back to pick the dog up, and the dog's not there.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. And they're like, we don't know where the dog is. But just so happens, one of the ladies that worked there disappeared and didn't show back up to work the same time the dog disappeared.
Smart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Coincidence? Me thinks not.
They never got the dog back.
Oh.
Yeah.
What a piece of shit, man.
Yeah, that's awful.
Yeah, somebody sold her dog and stole it and sold it probably because it was worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Pittsburgh at Louisville. Any guesses on them? This is a coin flip as far as I'm concerned.
Give me Louisville strictly because it's at home.
I guess so.
I like Pitt. Pitt's coming off a 3-game losing streak, and Louisville's an 8-point favorite. I don't have a reason to like Pitt in this game, but I'll take Pitt straight up.
I'll tell you what. That quarterback for Pittsburgh impressed me against Clemson. He's the backup quarterback. He's only started 4 games in college. He's a pro. He's not a runner. He's a pro style. He's a big, tall guy. He's 6'6". He's got an NFL arm. But Clemson's defensive line was all over his ass. They sacked him 8 times, but it didn't faze him. His ability to stand in the pocket under all that pressure and throw passes was pretty impressive. So I might take Pittsburgh in this game too if they start him.
I have no idea.
that
These
is
two
impressive.
teams have been pretty inconsistent
Yeah.
as far, especially the past few weeks. I have no idea. It'll be a good game, though. I'll tune in for sure.
Yeah. And last but not least, Virginia Tech at Duke, 8 o'clock on the ACC network.
I think Duke's a better team.
Yeah. So,
But I don't think their league's better. I think this may just be the best game.
are they a 7-win team right now?
Duke,
they're 7-3, right?
Yeah, they're 7-3.
So they could possibly go 9-3. They probably will go if they win this game. They probably go 9-3. Don't they play Wake Forest in the last game of the year?
I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out Handy Manny.
Yeah. Where did we have Duke in our preseason predictions?
It wasn't that good.
No.
We weren't 7 wins.
No, I think we got them like 4 and 8 or something.
So there was a couple teams that really surprised us. SMU is obviously the most obvious one. Virginia's another one, and then Duke.
Syracuse probably is surprising. They're at 7 wins, right?
Yeah, because we figured a lot of the defensive talent followed Elko. You know, Riley Leonard obviously left and went to Notre Dame. But hey, man, that's a scrappy little Duke team.
It'd be interesting to see what Duke does in the offseason from a portal standpoint. I'm assuming. I mean, they're Duke. That even a good recruiting class for them is what, 30?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I mean, even if they recruit in the top 30, which is good for them, they're going to have to go in the portal. So we'll see what.
And Manny likes to go in the portal.
Yeah. We'll see what they can do for next year. What are they looking for? Are they looking for a quarterback? Is that guy going to be back next year?
He should be.
I think he has like 3 years of eligibility.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he hasn't. This is first season starting. He's been under Quinn Ewers fast too.
Is this the best Duke season ever? I don't think so. What did they win last year? They won 9 games last year, didn't they?
No,
Yeah, that would if they win 9 games, that would make Manny the 4th coach ever to win 9 games at Duke.
Man.
Their best season is 10 wins. David Cutcliffe had a 10-win season.
So what about, was Steve Spurrier never won 10 games there?
No, he won 9 though. But that was also Steve Spurrier's first job. That was a 10-game season.
Oh, that's right. So, but percentage-wise, that's better. That's a 1-loss team.
Yeah, percentage-wise, yeah. All right, well, no, it was a 2-loss team. I think they won their 9th game with the bowl win.
Okay, so 9-2. Still. Anyway. There you have it.
Hey, man, listen, I said it. I didn't think Manny was a bad coach. I didn't have the hate for him that a lot of the Miami fans did. And I ain't hating on him being at Duke.
I thought it was a good hire. For sure.
All right, well, that's going to do it for the games. If any other football talk you guys want to have, or
there was something.
Have you gone over the roster changes, like 105 scholarship players now? And I think walk-ons won't be a thing anymore.
Yeah,
just all the walk-ons will get scholarships. That's all that'll be.
No. Well, Dabo talked about that today, actually. He said this is the worst, most disappointing thing in his entire coaching career is that he's going to have to cut a lot of people off the team that he doesn't want to cut off the team.
No, he's not.
That's what he said.
He ain't cutting anybody.
What he said.
Yeah, because he's going to have to fill it with recruits, especially since he doesn't use the portal.
Yeah.
And it's
he's not going to bring in 50 guys in a recruiting class.
No. But they've got
he's going to give a lot of those walk-on scholarships.
He's going to have to cut people. He's got like 130 people on the roster.
Yeah, so we're going
then he's already in violation of the NCAA because the max you're allowed is 110.
Whatever he's got more than that.
You can only dress so many.
110 is all you're allowed to have. So please cop to more NCAA violations that Dabo Swinney has.
I don't know. He said it today. If he says he's got to cut a bunch of guys, I believe him. I don't know why he'd lie about it.
I think he doesn't like it and he's exaggerating.
You think so?
Yes, they're going to, everybody, 110 is the limit now that you're allowed to have. So it's going to go down to 105, but they're all going to be on scholarship.
They're not losing a lot, though. Maybe that has something to do with it. They now, well, I don't know who's going to transfer out. So that's the unknown. But as far as the people that are moving on from no eligibility or moving on to the draft or whatever, they're they're not losing a lot of people this year.
Unless he feels that because there's still like 2,000 names in the transfer portal. Unless he feels like going into the portal heavy as fuck and giving those guys scholarships instead.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think the reason is now with NIL, you basically have unlimited scholarships because you can just supplement if you don't have scholarships with NIL money. I think that was the reason they're making this change.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing having the 105 scholarships. You would tend to think it's good. More people are getting scholarships. I mean, but from a team building standpoint, I don't know if it's an advantage or a disadvantage.
Well, it's going to create more parity between the best teams and the Power Four and the Group of Five. But then
I don't think it will.
The best teams can recruit more players for scholarship. How does that not create more parity?
I mean, do you think that Georgia Tech, just to use them as an example, is gonna load up with players and still be able to compete roster wise with Alabama or Georgia, whoever, Ohio State, whoever the most talented teams are? No, they won't.
Do you know what parity means? The distance between the talent gap of those teams will increase. Because a scholarship they didn't have to give if you're Alabama that Tech might get that player, they can now give that kid a scholarship.
Oh, I thought you were saying that the parity gap was going to close.
No, it's going to get bigger.
Oh, okay,
Now it for the Group of Five, it might help some from the standpoint of a guy that walks on to Clemson will take a scholarship at a Group of Five school.
Yeah,
so I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to see how it works out.
I mean, people are trying to point to this year and say, well, look, NIL has leveled the playing field because there's no one clear dominant team. And I mean, okay, that's a 1 year sample size, but if it's right back to status quo next year, then no, it's just a 1 year oddity, kind of like 07.
Well, here's the other thing. I'll just use Kennesaw State because they were in the news recently. Does a team like that even have the money for 105 scholarships? That's the other end of it.
That's a good point.
This is a good question here. I don't know the answer to this. Maybe one of you do. He says, Momo says he thinks the SEC voted not to increase the scholarship limit. Isn't that an NCAA thing?
It is.
So they can't.
The
I mean, maybe Greg Sankey was against it. I mean, that's a definite possibility, but I don't think the NCAA really gives a shit what Greg Sankey does or doesn't like.
I think you're allowed to have 105. Now you can have any number less than that you want. And I think he is right. I think the SEC did say, no, we're just going to stick with the 85. I could be wrong.
And maybe. And I mean, if that's their decision, that's their decision.
Well, I know Dabo's going to he's going to give a scholarship to anybody he can give one to. I mean, there's already a dozen players on the team right now that shouldn't be on scholarship that are.
Yeah.
So,
and I think Mario would do the same because, I mean, Mario loves recruiting. And, I'll be honest, the more South Florida talent that I can stack on that team, the better, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's what.
I think that's going to hurt. To your point, Rick, I think that's going to hurt the FAUs, the FIUs, the South Floridas of the world, because if Florida State and Florida and Miami and Central Florida can all rack up over 100 players each, they're going to.
Well, sure. The other thing it's going to do is make the portal even more tumultuous because now you have 105 scholarships. There's only 22 positions, right? So the people that are at the fourth string or fifth, you're going to have fifth and sixth string, they're going to transfer out. So you're going to have a ton more portal activity with 105 scholarships.
Yeah, definitely.
I think you will at the beginning, but I also think that pendulum's still going to swing the other way because you still, like I said, you got over 2,000 players in the portal that had nowhere to go.
Yeah, I think they're trying to address one issue and creating four more with this. That's kind of my take on it.
Yeah, it's going to be probably a good 5 or 10 years before things settle down with all the changes that are happening so quickly.
Unless they just keep changing things, and then it'll fucking never settle down.
Well, that's true. That's a good point too.
They probably will, and that doesn't even factor in the revenue sharing. 20 or 22 million. I don't even think that's finalized yet. I think that's still going through the courts as to how exactly that's going to work, because it's supposed to replace NIL altogether.
I don't think so. I think you're supposed to be on top of it.
No, it's not.
The idea of it.
I think you're still going to have both.
Yeah, I think.
Well, first of all,
you're
you
definitely going to have both.
Yeah, because you can't. NIL is in law. I mean, you can't overturn that. So there's still going to be NIL deals even with the revenue sharing thing.
Yeah,
I mean, there's possibilities that you might see some guys in college at some point that are making more than their head coach.
You are now. What's Heupel making?
Yeah, well, you talking about Nico?
9 million, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's making
Well, I mean, when you break it down per year, no, because I mean, Nico's probably up there where like Brent Key is.
Thanks, dude. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't.
Nico's making about
take a shot, but
No, I know what you're saying. Go ahead.
Nico's making about what, $2.5 million a year. It's supposedly an $8 million deal. So if you
that's just from that one deal. I mean, I'm sure he's got multiple, just like everybody else.
did you guys see that another rumor that I don't know if it's true or not, that Texas A&M offered that high school recruit $10 million?
Yes, I saw. Oh, no, that was Michigan that offered him.
Michigan. Oh, I don't know why I said A&M. Yeah, you're right, Michigan.
Yeah.
And
Michigan offered him.
and
the rumor is he's going to turn it down.
Yeah, he's going to tell him no, thank you, but no, thank you. Can you imagine being 18 years old and turning down $10 million to go play football somewhere?
Wow.
I mean,
That's nuts.
it is nuts.
You couldn't tell me nothing.
I'd play for anybody for $10 million if I'm 18. I don't give a shit who it is.
Right? Hey, I've said it before. Fuck Florida State called me and triple what I'm making. Yeah, I'll drive your shit with a Miami hat on. I don't care.
Yeah, DJ makes $1 million not to play. Well, yeah, I don't know how much he's made over his career. I think he made probably close to that while he's at Clemson. He's making that.
I mean, he was making that at least per year when he was at Clemson.
Is he the first NIL buyout that a team is paying?
I mean, and listen, Nico's not the only one. I mean, Cam Ward, I would assume because he's gotten a deal with Bose since he's been there, and he's gotten a deal with Adidas. He's probably sniffing somewhere around the $3 million a year mark.
Yeah, probably. Well, especially since he only has 1 year of eligibility left, right?
Actually, no. He has another year of eligibility, but he's not going to use it. He's gone.
Sure.
Especially if he wins the Heisman.
You think
he's looking at being the number 1 overall pick.
I don't know if it'll be the number 1 overall pick.
There's a possibility. Most projections definitely have him as the first quarterback off the board.
Well, even if he's taken anywhere in the top 10 overall, he'd be a fool not to take that money. I mean, that's.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and speaking of that, I wonder if at any point the NFL steps in and tries to work with the NCAA, because they might run into a problem because of the way the portal is. People play for 3 different teams and 3 different staffs. They're not really developed.
No, they're not.
Well, the NFL's been taking quarterbacks and throwing them out before they're ready anyway.
Right.
Pete's Herbicide says that Ward's not even projected to be a top 10 pick.
Right. And I'm sure you can find some draft projection that doesn't have him as a top 10 pick.
Mel Kiper.
And, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Mel Kiper's making a living off of being wrong.
Yeah.
Something I heard interesting on the radio today. It's projection season. You know, the end of getting the end of the college season, nearing the end of the NFL season. You look at all the head coach openings, most likely in the NFL, namely the Giants and the Cowboys.
Right.
And both teams may be looking for a quarterback. Now, I don't know about the Cowboys situation. What's going on with Dak Prescott?
They're shopping around, seeing if somebody would be stupid enough to pick up his deal, because that's their only hope is somebody stupid enough to pick up.
So probably
that deal.
in the scenario I'm talking about, most likely the Giants would be the most likely candidate for what I'm about to say. But imagine this: Deion Sanders goes to the playoffs. He's the hottest thing going now. New York hires Deion and drafts Shador in a group package, father and son package. What do you guys think the chances of that are?
I would love to see Bad Dogs melt down over that, because that's what he would do.
I don't think it's the craziest thing, man. It sounds like it. I think that could happen, though.
No, you're right. It's not crazy. It is absolutely moronic.
It's moronic, but not unlikely.
But also, by Deion's own words, he really should have no interest in being an NFL coach anyway.
I don't buy that for 1 second. I don't believe anything he says when it comes to that.
Oh, you don't buy that he wouldn't. Oh, yeah, he'll take the next check that comes along.
Yeah.
And if he gets to coach his son, he's going to do that. I mean, he's done it his son's whole career.
Right.
Literally his whole career.
Yeah, they've gone everywhere together. I guess Cowboys could be another option there. Of course, you know, Deion played for the Cowboys. He's got a relationship with Jerry Jones. Oh, I don't know. That'll be interesting to see.
Prime said he won't follow his son to the pros. Yeah, Prime has said a lot of things that didn't come to be.
Yeah, I mean,
the only time Prime has actually stopped saying things is when his wife said, "Stop saying things or else," or his ex-wife, I should say.
Well, and that's not just a Deion thing. Every coach is like that. You know, like when Nick Saban, for example, was coaching at Miami, he said, "Nope, not leaving Miami. I'm here." And then, like a week later, he takes the Alabama job. I mean,
listen, that may have been that may have been self-preservation kicking in, because you had a linebacker on that team literally say he was going to snap his fucking neck.
Well, the point being, you can't trust what any of these coaches say.
yeah, it's always, I'm not doing this until they do it.
I'm also not mad at a man that gets the fuck out of Dodge because a linebacker that gets paid more than him told him he would break him like the toothpick he is.
Well, Nick is little. I think he's like 5'7".
Yeah, especially compared to a Dolphins starting linebacker that, by the way, got paid more than Nick did.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Remember when Bill Belichick said he wasn't leaving? Yeah, exactly. And he was on the next 2 days later. He's on the first thing smoking. So
the best example when Petrino was at the Falcons, and he's like, "No,
oh yeah,
Arthur, I'm definitely your head coach," and then he puts a letter in their lockers while he's singing "Old Suey" at Arkansas.
Well, that was another situation that might have been self-preservation kicking in, because breaking news, Bobby Petrino is not always the most well-liked guy in a locker room.
No, I would say that's true.
The other thing that Deion said earlier in the year is that he might have to pull an Eli Manning when talking about Shador. He said there's certain teams I just won't let him play for. Now, I don't know which teams those are. I'm sure he knows what they are. He didn't say what they were. But
yeah, I mean, I get it to some degree, and people, especially Deion fans, would crucify me for this, but I'd stay the hell away from Shador just because I wouldn't want to deal with his dad bitching at every decision I made.
That's a good point that I didn't even think of.
To Deion's credit, though, I probably wouldn't, even for the money, I probably would feel bad for my son getting drafted to the Browns.
No, I get it.
Or the Panthers.
Look at Trevor Lawrence. I mean, you go to the shittiest team in the NFL if you're number one overall, most likely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm interested to know which team, because I think for him, it's more of a personal thing. Deion.
Well, as far as teams that have high draft picks that are looking for quarterbacks, a lot of analysts are pointing to the Titans.
Oh.
Yeah, I guess they're ready to move on from Will Levis already.
The Titans are really bad. Yeah, they're really bad.
Well, all they had was Derrick Henry, and they traded him to the Ravens.
Yeah.
Oh, the Jaguars have the first pick, then the Titans, the Browns, the Giants, and the Raiders.
Yeah, but the Jaguars aren't looking for a quarterback.
Right.
They just gave Trevor Lawrence an extension.
But they are looking for a head coach.
They need to trade their pick, number 1, to somebody then, probably.
Well, if they don't, like I said, that's why a lot of people are pointing to the Titans as taking the first quarterback.
What do you think the chances are that Jacksonville gives Dabo Swinney a call? Hey, you want to come coach up Trevor Lawrence again?
Yeah, you don't got to worry
I
about
don't. Ooh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Dabo would want to coach in the NFL.
I don't think he would either. A lot of people think he would, but
I don't think he'd be a good coach.
I think Dabo wants the level of control that Nick Saban had over a program, and you're just not going to have that in the NFL.
yeah. Yeah, he seems like a college guy to me.
Yeah, it's not a dig at him. 99% of college coaches are not good for the NFL. I mean, it's the exception. That
Not only that, but
I think you're going to see more go to it, though.
But a guy like Dabo, he's got more control over his football program than most head coaches do at their respective schools. You go in the NFL, it's unforgiving. I mean, you might be gone in 2 years.
I mean, listen, there are guys literally giving up head coaching jobs in college to be coordinators in the NFL just because, it's all the changes we were talking about. You've literally got to re-recruit your own team every year on top of having to recruit.
Plus, from a pay standpoint, he'd have to take a pay. I don't think there's anybody willing to pay him $12 million in the NFL. He's never coached there before.
No, and if they did, he better be having them in the playoffs year 1.
Right.
I mean, there'd be a pretty high expectation.
Right.
Well, I don't know. What did Harbaugh get? He got some ridiculous deal, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Harbaugh also made a Super Bowl before.
That's true.
Yeah, he had success prior. Dabo doesn't have any experience at all in the NFL.
That's true. Yeah.
Anyway, conspiracy theories galore.
No, I've always said if Dabo leaves, at that point it won't be about the money because he's made a boatload of money at Clemson. Dabo would just go coach high school somewhere.
No,
if he still wanted to coach.
Maybe. I don't know.
He just said, fuck it, I'm washing my hands. I cannot stand where college football has gone. I don't see him going to the NFL. I could see him, like I said, because he's made enough money, just go coach high school football somewhere.
Or just do nothing.
Dabo doesn't strike me as the do nothing kind of guy.
No, definitely not.
Well, he could.
I mean, if he didn't do that, then he would definitely be the next guy on game day.
Yeah, he's still a relatively young guy. What is he, like 53 or 54, something like that?
Yeah, go stick him on the set. Like, I think he'd play well off of Pat McAfee.
Oh God, I do not want to see Dabo Swinney on game day. God, please don't make that happen.
Oh, come on now.
No.
Come on, I could see Dabo come out dressed up like a preacher.
I tell you something.
Yeah, Dabo could become a preacher. That's more likely than him going to the NFL, but just becoming a preacher.
He starts his own. Well, there you go. Yeah, he'll start his own Joel Osteen megachurch.
There you go. Travel around the country, wear one of those headset microphones.
Yeah. He'll just take the headset from Clemson with him.
Yeah, it is.
He'll even wear the khakis and the sweater when he preaches.
Did y'all see what happened at the Pitt game last week? He was on the sideline talking through a walkie-talkie, and everyone was like, "What the hell is going on? Why is he talking through a walkie-talkie all of a sudden?" I still don't know why he was doing. I think
it goes to the green dot helmet.
Oh, it does.
So, yeah, that's
maybe
what those walkie-talkie.
Oh my God! So see that's disturbing.
Dabo
so he
doesn't need to be in fucking game.
Yeah, so Dabo's the one giving instructions to Klubnik instead of Riley.
Apparently.
Jesus.
The only way I know that is Jeff Collins was doing that, and I was like, "Why is he doing that?" And then I was informed that that's how you get the play call in.
Well, I think what happened was because he wasn't doing it the whole game. Maybe when things started going sideways, he went and snatched the walkie-talkie out of Riley's hand and said, "Give me that fucking thing for a second."
Fucking calls suck.
Let me fix this shit real quick. Well, anywho. All right, guys, I guess that's going to do it. I do want to play this. How long is this thing here?
No, the song is like 3 minutes.
6. No, this is like. No, I'm not going to play.
Skip the preview part.
I'm not skipping. I'm doing the whole Macho Wreck segment. I think it's.
Well, half the video is him previewing the game.
It's about 5 minutes. So.
All right.
All right. Well, I'm going to get off here so I can watch it then because I can't see it on here.
All right. Thanks for coming on, Slim.
See you soon.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Macho Rex crazy, man.
Yeah, this is
he's
good.
crazy. He's crazy for stepping up to the buzzsaw.
I want everybody to pay attention closely to this. This is actually a good song. Well produced, good lyrics, relevant to now. All of the above. It checks all the boxes. So, all right. Without further ado, everybody, here is Macho Wreck.
They talk about the loyalty of Bryce Camilleri to Buffoon. You like an LSU, you're not fitting at the bottom of macho shoes. We're at the Caramel Lounge, I'm more loyal than you boo. It's Macho Wreck, y'all. Oh yeah, it's Macho.
I'm sorry I have to interrupt already. Those shorts that you're wearing, where do you buy such a garment?
The same place that the strippers at the Claremont Lounge buy there.
Okay.
They're pretty tight too, buddy.
Yeah, I see that.
T-bands.
I see that.
Macho Wreck, y'all. Oh yeah, Macho Wreck, y'all. The cream always will rise to the top. Oh yeah.
The NC State Wolfpack, huh? Well, you're playing more like a bunch of ball sacks. My God, 5 wins, perennial ACC title contenders. Well, hopes, thoughts, and prayers are all you're ever going to have as it pertains to doing jack all shit in the ACC. I can tell you that. Dave Doran, start calling you Dave Snoring watching your offense. You know how people watched Dr. Phil back in the day so they could feel good about how shitty their families were? That's what old Macho Wreck does when he watches your offense. Man, not that our offense had problems. We had to MacGyver one together with 5 strips of duct tape and 2 pieces of bubble gum. Boy, I feel a whole lot better about my offense watching yours. Yeah, and maybe your true freshman quarterback might just have a smidge of talent. But he's running up against the Georgia Tech defense, and he's going to learn real quick how not fun football can really be. You might have to bench him. You got another quarterback lined up there? You're coming into the A2. We don't F around in Atlanta. Unlike your city, Atlanta's a city that people actually want to live in. It's got more than 2 cow pastures and some chopped shiitake mushrooms and cow shit out there. We actually got something to do. We got the College Football Hall of Fame. And just like I disciplined my dog this Thursday, 7:30 on ESPN, I'm going to roll up a newspaper and smack you right across the nose with it. Because you ain't going bowling. As absolutely awful as Jeff Collins is, your defense is worse, and that's sad. You should just retire. Go watch basketball. Real football fans don't watch basketball, so I don't even know if you're any good in that. We might break our record of 222-0 against you. It ain't even going to be fun to beat up again on you. Maybe just a little bit. And let me tell you something, Buzzsaw. Yeah, Buzzsaw. I came, I saw, I conquered last year. We already clinched a bowl berth, Buzzsaw. So there's no reason to make any alliances. There's no reason to make any truces. In the words of Michael Corleone, this Thursday, Buzz, all family business will be settled. All you are is some Johnny come lately. Macho Wreck is everything, Georgia Tech. Everything. Your mama was still patting your ass with baby powder, putting you in diapers when I was rooting for Georgia Tech. You just remember that. I've forgotten more about Georgia Tech football than you know. So are you man enough, Buzzsaw? Do you got the stones to meet me this Thursday, 7:30 at Bobby Dodd Stadium? And as for the rest of you, come see your boy Macho Wreck. It's going to be a good time. Oh,
I'm Erica Swenson.
Oh,
and
no,
Chief
commercial in the middle of the
Financial
promo.
Officer At Venture Solar.
yeah.
Click on that for me.
Listen to this song here.
So you starting the season fighting the ukulele. That's like beating up on a lady. Pretty shady if you ask me. Pick up someone your own size bust off because Macho Red will expose all your flaws, and there's only one Georgia Tech draw, and hell you just square in the jaw. Be a man, buzzsaw, and settle this at Bobby Dodd. Be a man, buzzsaw. Macho Wreck is laying the law. Be a man, buzzsaw, and settle this once and for all. Be a man, buzzsaw. Answer the call. Macho Wreck, the professor buzzsaw, because I'm taking you to school, fool. Now you're up shit's creek without a paddle, looking like Mike Tyson's ass cheeks. You reek of a lesser man, you're not a nerd, you're just a mid-level geek. Yeah, you took on an orange last year, but now you're bared with fear. Staying in the fallout vault, waiting for my all clear. So you starting the season fighting the ukulele. That's like beating up on a lady. Pretty shady if you ask me. Pick up someone your own size buzzsaw, because Macho Wreck will expose all your flaws, and there's only one Georgia Tech draw, and hell is just square in the jaw. Be a man, buzzsaw, let's settle this at Bobby Dodd. Be a man, buzzsaw, Macho Wreck is laying the law. Be a man, buzzsaw, let's settle this once and for all. Be a man, buzzsaw, answer the call. Call Macho Wreck, the professor buzzsaw, because I'm taking you to school, fool. Now you're up shit's creek without a paddle, looking like Mike Tyson's ass cheeks. You reek of a lesser man, you're not a nerd, you're just a mid-level geek. Yeah, you took on an orange last year, but now you're bared with fear. Staying in the fallout vault, waiting for my all clear. All clear. You now you're buried with fear, staying in the fallout vault, waiting for my all clear. Be a man, buzzsaw, let's settle this at Bobby Dodd. Be a man, buzzsaw, Macho Wreck is laying the law. Be a man, buzzsaw, let's settle this once and for all. Be a man, buzzsaw, answer the call. Call Macho Wreck, the professor buzzsaw, because I'm taking you to school, fool. Now you're up shit's creek without a paddle, looking like Mike Tyson's ass cheeks. You reek of a lesser man, you're not a nerd, you're just a mid-level geek. Yeah, you took on an orange last year, but now you're bared with fear. Staying in the fallout vault, waiting for my all clear. But now you're buried with fear, staying in the fallout vault, waiting for my all clear.
Bam. That was
This
good.
weird scissor replacing gadget is quickly
I don't know,
becoming the
man.
most
Buzz might not need to show up after that diss track. Man. Jesus.
That was good. That song was great at the end there.
And I hate that I didn't have this rebuttal ready, but
Yeah.
yeah, if only you guys could hear that, you'd I don't know if you'd jump to conclusions there. Maybe
I believe in you, Sea Dog, but that's gonna be hard to top right there.
maybe okay. Okay.
That's right. Okay is all you can say.
Okay.
It'd be hard to top. My favorite lines from that song were, "You started off the season with the ukulele. That's like beating up on a lady." That's a great line there. Also, you're not a nerd. You're just an average. What was it? Average geek or something?
Average mid-level geek.
Yeah.
Which is a diss in the Georgia Tech circles for people.
And of course, the old looking like Mike Tyson's ass cheeks. I mean, that's
Yeah, you're up Shit's Creek looking like Mike Tyson's ass cheeks.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's cute.
yeah.
Okay.
It's cute.
So when can we expect to see the rebuttal from Buzzsaw?
I'm gonna try to bang this thing out tonight.
Okay.
Maybe it'll be ready by the midday show tomorrow, and you can we can reconvene.
If it's ready, I'll definitely be into it. Yeah.
Okay. Tune in, everybody. Tune in.
Yeah.
If you want to see the buzzsaw respond to the Macho Rex song, tune in to my channel, and then probably Pete tomorrow on the midday show.
Yeah. What he said.
Right.
All right, gentlemen. Well, successful show. I think we said it all, and maybe even a little bit more.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's all that needs to be said. Buzzsaw's gonna get his ass beat at Bobby Dodd, and we'll know who the true.
Not so fast, my friend. Not so fast.
Yeah, he'll probably fight like Lee Corso too, won't he?
Yeah. If Lee Corso was picking the buzzsaw, he would put on the buzzsaw mask.
Yeah, he's got a great record picking.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you guys. I'm out of here.
all right, see you later, Rick. All right, Sea-Dog buddy. Thanks for another great show. Looking forward to the buzzsaw video.
Yeah, man.
All right, man. Have a good one.
All right, you too. See ya.
Yeah, that's going to do it for me as well. Thanks for tuning into the ACC show, everybody. I'll be live tomorrow at 11 a.m. for the midday show. I'm sure it'll be a great one. So, anyway, have a great rest of your Tuesday night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.